is an advertisement when I was again invited by the Miami Ballet Company to come and guest artist. I was still in New York City. This is one of the many reviews I've received while working with Les Ballets Jazz in Canada. We toured quite extensively, so I had many reviews from many cities that we traveled to. Was fortunate always to have a very favorable review and was treated with star quality from the Canadians, which I appreciated and still appreciate very much. This is one of the reviews from the numerous musicals I've choreographed. This review happens to be from Miss Saigon. I love all musicals, but the musicals I most love to do were the ones that I had to really do a lot of research on. I really enjoy that aspect of it. For instance, Cabaret is one, and Miss Saigon, to study the Vietnam War and to really get into the heads as much as I could in the characters in order to truly choreograph something that was real. I don't like copying. It's my own interpretation, my own choreography. And this is actually one of the favorites for me as a choreographer, because it had so many different aspects to it. And I really enjoyed working on this production. This is a letter of recommendation from Mark Goldweber, who was the ballet master from the Joffrey Ballet in Chicago, where I taught company class, and he was kind enough to write a letter of recommendation for me. The transition from becoming a performer going into something else was not that difficult for me, because I had been teaching all along here and there, and I knew I loved it. So giving up performing was not too difficult. I went into something else that I truly have a passion for as well, and that is teaching and passing along what I know. I have been certainly fortunate to be able to make a living by teaching, and teaching for some wonderful companies and some wonderful schools. I was in Orlando, Florida for several years with Southern Ballet Theater, and then moved up to New England, and I was offered a full-time position with the Boston Ballet School, where I then spent 11 years teaching classical ballet. I also taught some enrichment classes while there, and one of them was a choreography composition class. I've also taught the Alvin Ailey Company many times, their company ballet classes, and I've taught the Maximum Dance Company here in Miami, professional company. I've taught Southern Ballet Theater professional ballet classes to the company, and I taught Les Ballets Jazz professional level company ballet classes. So I am looking now to get out and do some more guest teaching. For the show Dance on the Top Floor, which I co-produced with two other women, Margot Parsons and Eve Rounds. And we produced this show for 7 years. It was a huge success in Boston. In fact, we had to turn people away that couldn't get in the doors and we eventually had to move to a bigger venue to accommodate the audience that wanted to come into this show. And we always had very, very good reviews. The critics were very kind to us in Boston, writing articles and coming to the performances to review all of the choreographers that we brought in, which actually was a big deal for the choreographers that we did bring in to get their names and reviews in ink in both the Boston Herald and the Boston Globe.